If you like this video, why not subscribe?
Hey everyone, welcome to another Monday weekly recap show, the show where we talk about things that happened in the past week, or actually emails and comments that I received in the past week, as well as all the links that accumulated on the Facebook group. And if you're interested in just those links, then go ahead and check the description below because they're all there ad nauseum. If you've never seen the show before, it's basically a podcast. All I'm doing is talking. You won't see much other than my face and the occasional annotation that'll lead you to the video that I'm talking about. So if that's not interesting, or which probably isn't, I would totally understand. Feel free to tab away in your browser and just listen. So last week we talked about it. The question was, what was the best entry-level camera since the Sanyo CG10 and CG20 seemed to be out of circulation. That Radio Shack deal is probably still available if you want to check in the previous show's description to try that. That's a great camera. However, one viewer told me that that Panasonic bought Sanyo, and I checked, and they did a couple of years ago. They bought it, and now those cameras are gone because Panasonic has their own version of basically the CG20. It's called the Panasonic HX-DC1. B&H carries it. It's not the great $80 deal. The cheapest one is about $170, but you can find that link below. Oh, and by the way, the camera's pink, so you're definitely going to pay for your frugality. So let's go ahead and get started with emails directly to me, either through my email address, which is thefrugalfilmmaker@gmail.com, or the YouTube channel. This first question is from Herman Burrig. He says, love your show. Pertaining to the episode where we talk about the Sanyo camera, I need an inexpensive studio camera. The big feature I need is the ability to output the video while you're recording, so I can bring that video into a video switcher and record to a computer. Most flip cams, etc., will let you play your videos back on the TV, but not output your video live. Any ideas? Well, if you do get a hold of that Panasonic, which is essentially the clone of the Sanyo, there is a video output, and it does go to an external monitor, or any other way you want to record, so I think that would work. And if you want to go to two different sources, just use a splitter on the video cable. It comes with a breakout cable. It'll take it to a video and then stereo audio. So I would just recommend you split that video cable into however many sources you want to go to record a monitor or a switcher, whatever. That should work. All right, next we have a message from Green Vinyl Productions. This is on YouTube. He replied to a comment I made on, or I guess this is a reply to the camera crane jib. I think this is a message. We're not on comments yet, right? Okay. I got one interjected here accidentally. Anyway, he asks, what should I wait for the 2.0 crane or make this one? He's referring to me constantly talking about how I'm going to upgrade the Frugal crane to a 2.0 version so that it can handle essentially DSLRs and have an updated pulley system that works better. But won't cost that much. Actually, the pulleys that I'm going to get cost less than the training wheels, but work better. I hope, anyway. I haven't built it yet, but I'm anticipating it will work better. And I would recommend, basically it depends. If you have a smaller camera, small camcorder, like a flip camera, the Kodak ZI-8, a handheld camcorder, like I use my Vixia on it in the video, Vixia HFS100, I would go ahead and build it. If you're going to put a DSLR on the crane, you're going to want to see the upgrades, because right now it doesn't work that well, the DSLR. It needs a beefier platform. The DSLR bunches up, sits too close to the end pulley wheel, so I need a way to move it away from the end pulley, and also just a better platform. It just doesn't, because I tried it once with the DSLR, and I totally lost my tilting ability. So you have to ask yourself that question, and whatever your answer is, that's what you should do. All right, the Good Bad Bringers. Oh, I send me a lot of messages. Asks me, those of us who don't have an editing program and don't have as much money as they usually cost, what can they do? What's an inexpensive program that has everything you need? I recommend always, well, of course, any computer comes with a program. I don't have a Mac, I have a Windows machine, which comes with the worst possible editor ever devised by man, Windows Movie Maker. I recommend Sony Movie Studio HD. You can get the stripped down version. It's basically like Vegas Pro with all the pro features stripped out, but it's still got a lot of good things. It only lets you have, I believe, 4 video and 4 audio tracks, which is what most people only use. However, the one thing that actually costs $35. There's a link in the description to Sony Movie Studio HD. However, if you want to do any color correction, you're going to have to step up to the platinum version of Sony Movie Studio HD, which is only $10 more. That link is also in the description. And color correction is pretty important. I did a video about it recently, a tip video, and that's something you're probably going to want, if not now, then later, because it's pretty handy and important. And it's only $10 extra, so you're going to be spending about $50 probably. If you don't want that, if that's not important, you don't think you'll ever use it, I recommend the $35 version, which does an awful lot. And you can also download, if you go to Sony's website, which I don't have linked to, unfortunately, you can get a trial of both of those and check them out for a month. And it's an uncrippled trial, so that's what I'd recommend. The Dude Guy 101 sent me a message asking about tripods, ball head or the three-way head, which is better and why. Now, when you look at tripods for filmmakers, the most important thing, in my opinion, is that it's a fluid head. Fluid head bearing, oil bearing fluid head means that you can do tilts up and down and pans left to right smoothly. Don't get a photography or still photographer's tripod if you can avoid it, because they're not made for panning or tilting. They're made for locking down. So look for a fluid head. I don't really have a recommendation of an inexpensive one. I should probably look into that. But because I have one that I've been using forever, that's the Beast that I referred to before. It's got a Bogan 501 head on it, and it works really good, and it's durable, and I've used it for years and years. So just look for a fluid head. I think that's the most important. If you see something that says ball head on it, that will probably mean on a real tripod anyway, not just like the little ball heads that I make rigs out of. But it means that you can adjust, once you've got your tripod set up, you can adjust the actual, what do you call that, pitch and everything, so you can center your bubble and the little bubble level that's going to be on your tripod easier. If you don't have that, all you do is you just adjust your tripod legs until the bubble hits the middle. But for convenience, if you can have a ball head or a ball adjustment on it, it's like a little thing you tighten underneath the tripod head. That's really handy, but it's not necessary. I don't have one. You just adjust the tripod legs so you get a centered shot, or until your tripod's level. You know who number one is sent me a message. He says, I was wondering what gadget you use for the sidebar YouTube videos on your blog. I can easily have YouTube on the main post section of our blog, but I can't find one for the sidebar. Thanks. All I'm doing to get the videos on the side of my blog, the small videos, because I tried the little YouTube tool they provide also, and it wasn't very good. Plus I couldn't really control what was in there. So all I did was I just used I took the embed code right off of the YouTube page. If you click on share and then embed, you'll get that code that you can embed. And then I just used the gadget, was the HTML gadget, and I just pasted it in there, and I just adjusted the frame size to get the smaller window. I believe mine is something like 220 by 150 to get that smaller window on the side. But you can experiment and see what works best. But it's just the HTML gadget, nothing fancy. Okay, on to comments now on YouTube. And Andy101 Nguyen made a comment on the making of Temp Insanity. He says, why does it look like the gun has two clips glued next to each other? Like it looks like the clip is very bulky. Well, you've probably seen in a lot of movies how, mercenaries will always have the two clips taped together. So when they're out of ammo, they just pull the one clip out, flip it over, and then insert it, so you just exchange magazines faster. And the G36 has an interlocking clip system, so you can actually lock clips together next to each other. So you essentially run out of ammo, you pull one out, you just slide it over and insert it again. And the airsoft replicas have the same thing. And the reason I put all three of them together, because it does look huge, I realize, and maybe ridiculous. But the idea was that the secretary whips out the super gun to assassinate her boss with. It's got the multiple clips, it's got the tactical light, which a lot of people told me looked fake, because it is, and it's got the red dot sight on top, which is also fake. But that was the idea. This is just that she pulls out a gigantic, enormous assault rifle. So that's why they were all stuck together. But the clips are actually made to interlock. So pretty cool, I think. All right, Mr. JF Media made a comment on make a PVC table dolly for under $20, and he asks, how much does the PVC pipe cutters cost? Well, it depends, but the best price on earth that I've found is Harbor Freight Tools. If you don't have one in your town, you can always order them online if you want. They're $3.50 which is really inexpensive. You can also get them on Amazon for about $8.50. I left a link to both of those in the description below. If you do any kind of PVC projects, you'll never regret buying PVC ratcheting cutters, which are a million times better than a hacksaw or anything else you can dig up, because I mean, you just wrap them around the pipe and you squeeze the handle, and in about 5 seconds the pipe is cut with a nice smooth edge and you can move on. They're really fantastic, and I highly recommend you get some of those. Like I said, if not at Harbor Freight, then Amazon. You can also get them in any hardware store, but they're going to be around $12, so there you go. All right, DBW 1998 made a comment on the camera stabilizer rig for under $5. He asks, I'm looking to attach this rig to my tripod for ease of use. Any ideas? Yeah, and people have done this already on the Facebook group. In fact, I noticed this past week somebody did it. They're just putting a tripod quick release plate right under the spot where the screw goes in. Maybe they have a longer screw that's going through your tripod's quick release plate and through the PVC T and into the camera. So that's what I would do. You could probably do it with the Sima Quickonnect. You might have to open up that hole a little bit and then maybe use some kind of tapered screw so that there's still room to insert it. Also, though, if you're going to use something like the Quickonnect that only has one connection point, it might be a little much for the entire rig and your camera. I don't know. You're going to have to use your best judgment. But that's basically it. Yeah, just put a quick release plate on the bottom, and then you can attach and it can sit on your camera. Again, check out the Facebook group, and you can see how other people have done it. Okay, Jake Abraham, Jake with 2 A's, Abraham made a comment on camera crane / jib for $30. Can you use this with a DSLR? If so, how would you focus it in video mode? Well, as I've already mentioned, it doesn't really work that well on the existing model. The DSLR will not work because I've tried it. There's just not enough room on the platform, and the pulley system needs to be upgraded to handle the extra weight. However, no matter how you get it on the end of a pole, unless you have some kind of remote focusing device, I think there's a USB focus that's remote, maybe wireless focusing device. There's no way you're going to be able to focus the camera at the end of the crane, unless you are feeling a little spendy and you want some kind of remote focus pulling system. So I would just recommend that you have the deepest focus you can get on whatever lens you have and shoot wide, and you won't have to worry about it. Okay, next up we have a comment from X's9378. He commented on the trolley dolly. He says, how do you fix it on the tripod? If you just watch the video again, that little plate that I'm putting at the bottom of the cutting board on the underside of the track attachment is actually a speed plate, a quick plate. It just slides right onto my tripod head, and it stays there. So again, it's a Bogan 501 head. I'm just putting a quick plate on there so that I can, swap the track out for something else if I want. But it's in the video. Okay, Monster Tunes made a comment on quick release puck. He says, FYI, Amazon no longer has the quick release puck for $9. Now only Adorama sells it. False! Actually, the way Amazon works is they will often run out of stock, and I might actually be the cause of this, because since I'm always plugging this thing because I love it so much, the Sima Quickonnect. And they'll run out of stock, and they'll get more stock. And when they first get it, it's like full price, it's $15. And I'm always excited about that. And I probably shouldn't have posted it, hey, look, they're back in stock, because they're $12 or whatever they were initially. And then a week later, they drop back to $8.50. So the thing with Amazon is you just wait long enough and the stock will come back. It's supply and demand. People are obviously buying them because they're running out of stock. So as long as Sima keeps making them, they're going to keep supplying them. And I would just wait. If you see a price of $10 or $12, just wait a week and it'll drop back to $8.50. So, and if Adorama has them, great, but I still recommend buying them at Amazon because that's the best price. The link is below. All right, Nick Commercial posted a comment on the channel saying, thanks for putting up such useful information. You're welcome. I used a lot of your ideas already. However, I did pick up some cool tricks like the gel or plastic in front of the clamp lights, or using a second spring clip when using clamp lights. He had a question on the gels. He says, you mentioned daylight gels. Can you elaborate on the different gels a bit, please? Okay, well, there's all kinds of colors. Obviously, gels are the clear plastic colored sheets that you can put in front of lights, and they're made of a sturdier material so they can withstand heat. Really, the biggest one you're probably ever going to have to worry about, like I said, they have multiple colors because the idea is that when you're having a color you don't want, you can use the gels to take care of it. The best example is if you're shooting in a house and you have windows open, you've got, was it 5500K, 5600K light temperature color coming in the window, basically daylight, which the color temperature is 5600K Kelvin. And if you want to match that, if you want to use your own lights, like tungsten lights or incandescent lights, the bulbs, which is what most of us have, not CFLs, but you can mimic daylight by putting a blue gel or a CTB gel, which is color temperature blue, in front of your light, which will change the color temperature. So then when you white balance to whatever in your room, it'll all look all the light will look the same, all the color will look the same. You might notice this problem when you color, you white balance to one thing and then sunlight comes in and it looks blue. Well, that's because you're white balancing to tungsten, which is a different color temperature, or an incandescent bulb or whatever. So you just got to compensate for that, unless you're going for that effect. But so CTB is typically what you want. I've left a link for the gels down below on Amazon. They're not cheap. Like one sheet is like $15 after shipping and everything. And you could probably cut that up in quarters and use it on several lights. But if you're looking for a cheaper solution, I used to work at a TV station and I inherited a bunch of gels. So one thing you might want to try is calling a local TV station and say, hey, do you have any gels just as scrap laying around? I'm a filmmaker, a student or whatever, and see if they'll give you some. But they are expensive. The other one you might need is CTO, which is color temperature orange, which is when you want to change daylight to tungsten color temperature. But you probably need this less often because, when you probably need it to cover an entire window or something. It's much cheaper and easier just to change all your tungsten lighting or incandescent lighting to blue, so then you'll match daylight. So then you can just open all the windows and then change your lights to blue and everything will match. So there you go, that's that. Okay, men, MWE, let's see, MEN, MWEN, WI1, excuse me, has made a comment on the clamp lighting. He says, what do you use to diffuse the light? Well, I typically don't use anything, but you can use something, a diffusion material called a frost. It's also, I've provided another link. It's expensive. It's about $15 per sheet. And you can also use wax paper. Isn't something else you can use, but wax paper isn't as tough, meaning you could burn a hole through it depending on what you're putting it in front of it. You could use, a white sheet, use the crib sheet that I talked about on the PVC light stand episode. That might work to diffuse it, but that's pretty dense. So like I said, wax paper is a cheap alternative. I really don't use anything. Sometimes when I throw the blue gels in front, that knocks the light down, because anytime there's different levels of something else I should have mentioned, of the gel, the CTB gel. You can get like a quarter or half or a full, and that knocks your light down each time. Either knocks it a quarter stop, half stop, I believe. Anyway, so yeah, that's what a frost does. It's a great diffusion material, but it is expensive because it's a professional material. But you can try wax paper. All right, that's all of the comments and all of the messages I had this past week. Remember, if you want to send me a message, you can send it directly to me through the frugalfilmmaker@gmail.com. You can leave a comment. I'll see it. Feel free to come to the Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, come to the blog. All those links are at the very top of the description below. And next week, actually the question this week I wanted to talk about was, I'm sort of getting on a more consistent schedule now. Obviously this show is every Monday, and every time I release something else, it's been on Wednesday. However, last week I released Temp Insanity on Thursday because I was a little late, but also because I think I'd like to, each episode, whether it's the recap show or anything else, needs time to breathe. So the question I wanted to ask everybody was, do you think a good release schedule for regular content, not the recap show because that's always on Monday, but that regular content episodes, Frugal Filmmaker, a tip episode, anything else I come up with, would serve you guys well being released on Thursday instead of Wednesday? That way there's more space for each episode, and I'm not cramming the recap episode or giving it less time for people to see it. Because I don't know so I know some people respond to subscriptions because they get emails, and other people just show up at the channel and see what's there. And if the recap episode is a little more time to breathe, a little more time for people to see it. How do you feel about that? Wednesday or Thursday? That's the big question. Regular content on Wednesday or Thursday? Tell me what you think. And this Wednesday or Thursday, actually it'll probably be Thursday unless I hear differently. But the tip episode is going to be all about mobile screenwriting. If you want to edit your screenplay on your mobile phone, how do you do that, and how do you sync it in between places so you can use whatever software you have. Now, we've got a real generic way that you can do it with any mobile phone. You don't have to have an iPhone to make it work, or an Android phone even. So check out that episode on Wednesday, and I'll see you next week. Bye.